Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode here on Girlfriend Unwrapped. So, you're trying to plan your first couples cruise and you don't know where to start. Well, your girl's got you covered. I have 7 tips to make your vacation go smoothly. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's start with where do we begin? What cruise line do I book for the most romantic experience? Well, my friend, I am here to tell you, you have so many options. You have Carnival, you have Holland America, you have Virgin, you have Princess, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean. It's so many that I could name. But I want to give 2 of my top recommendations, and I'll tell you why. My first recommendation, if you are looking for a kids-free, all-included experience, hands down, killing the game right now, is Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages will, I would say, blow your mind right now because compared to the other cruise lines, you are getting Michelin star food service for the price of the average cruise. You don't have to worry about paying tips. You don't have to worry about, the basic drinks and gratuities. All of that is included and it is kids free. For those of you who are looking for that experience, hands down, Virgin is top in the game right now and killing it. Now, if you are looking for a luxurious resort feel, Celebrity Cruises, hands down, is also bringing it. They are bringing it. They have some of the most beautiful ships, and I recommend the Edge class. I think that includes the Edge, Celebrity Edge, Celebrity Ascent, Celebrity Apex, and Celebrity Beyond. And those ships are absolutely beautiful. The artwork, the vibe. I always like to say that it's a sexy ship. The ambiance, even in the very buffet, is chef's kiss. So if you are looking for something more, if that's more of your speed, definitely check those 2 out. If you guys are the party couple, you want to stay up till the wee hours of the night partying and getting down and you don't care about food and it's just like I just want some good greasy food and I want to hang out with good people and have a great time, but you don't mind, a little rowdiness, you may want to look at Carnival. Of course, Royal Caribbean is also amazing, but you do have to take in the aspect that kids will be present on the cruise ship. It just depends on the times that you book things and the places that you go. But they're definitely a top contender as well. They have some great venues and some even more amazing ships coming out. If you guys are thrill seekers, I like to think of them as a theme park at sea. So definitely consider that and look at the different cruise lines when considering these cruise ships for you and your significant other. All right, the perfect itinerary. Where do you want to go? I always say this because if you know that you're the type of couple that you don't like cold weather, don't book an Alaskan cruise. I cannot stress that enough. All right, if you want to get tanned and you want to hang out on the beach and drink these fancy drinks or just enjoy the locals and get to meet the people and the culture, look at the Caribbean and Central American cruises. If you want to experience somewhere overseas for the first time, definitely look at a cruise out of the Mediterranean cruises, or just the cruises visiting Barcelona, Italy. Those are some of the best cruises because you can pick one form of transportation, which is a cruise ship, right? And you can go to anywhere from 6 to 7 places, maybe even more, because those cruise itineraries can go for 11 days and up. You can pick that one form of transportation and visit multiple places in one trip. Now, keep in mind, if you do pick those type of cruises, those are more geared towards travel, tourism, and education. So you will see that excursions are pushed more because they're on the educational front. They want you to experience the culture, they want you to experience the food, but they also want you to learn about these places and see these places. So that those type of trips require getting up at 4 5 a.m. sometimes to be on time for these excursions, and they're all day and they're a lot of walking. If that is not for you, then I don't recommend it. If you want something more chill, you definitely need to do your research and consider that, hey, that may not be it for us. We may just want to hang out on the beach, wear, bathing suits every day, eat in the dining room at night, and stay out all night. It's up to you. But you definitely want to consider the perfect itinerary for you too, because it makes a difference. Now, I do want to stress packing because I love to talk about packing. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But think about when you book this cruise, because sometimes cruise prices can change. So a lot of times I notice that peak cruise season is during the summer. Okay. And with that also comes a weather change. So let's say you book a Caribbean cruise and the water is a bit rocky. You have to keep that in mind. Will it make you sick? Because that is what comes with the cruise ship. Just like planes have turbulence, cruise ships also deal with these weather conditions that can affect the boat. You want to be mindful because you don't want to spend your time during high weather conditions and during that season where you're sick, you're nauseous, so pre-plan. I love to take the little nausea patches that go on the back or the nape of your neck. I take Dramamine, and I recommend taking it sometimes 2 days in advance prior to your cruise so that it can get into your system. And it's a rites of passage to get your sea legs, right? Because you may have not been on a cruise ship before, and so you're feeling really, really sick, and the weather is just too much. The boat is rocking, and everybody seems normal around you, but you are really going through it. You want to pre-plan. Is it a good time to go on a cruise for you right now? These are the things you need to look at. How long is the travel time from where you live just to get to the cruise ship? All of those things you want to keep in mind when planning your couple's vacation. All right, so onboard romantic experiences. One thing that most cruise ships offer are like decorations, right? You can do this one or two ways. So the first way is through the cruise line. There are packages that they offer where you can have your rooms decorated. Are you celebrating a birthday? Are you celebrating an anniversary? Are you getting married? These are the things that they would be more than happy to help you plan, or to just make that initial reaction when you approach your door to be like, wow, this is really nice. Now, the second way that I always say that I like to plan is I decorate my own room. I love decorating my door. There is such a fun thing about decorating your door and then having people come up to you and say, oh, is this your room? I love it. You can put, your names on the door. You can go to Etsy and get a banner printed, or you can get those Amazon magnets that stick up on your door. Make the moment fun, make it memorable, and make your room personalized. You can bring your own decorations. Know this: most rooms in cruise ships are magnetic. So if you can get you some magnets with the adhesive strips on the back and stick them to whatever decor you want, you can easily put it on the walls and take it down without damaging the rooms. That is my favorite thing to do. But if you want to take the other approach because you don't have time for that and you want the champagne and strawberries and all of that in your room, definitely go through the cruise line. I do not recommend trying to bring that on board. It's much harder, and it probably will be taken away from you. So keep that in mind. Also, if you want to create a romantic experience, book romantic dinners, book the steakhouse, book the hibachi restaurants, book a couple's spa massage. They always run really great deals when it comes to getting a massage. And if you're not 100% sure, you have to call anyway or go to the spa. So call and ask them, hey, what do you have available? What discounts are you guys offering for couples? Because we're celebrating this. I guarantee you the cruise ship will go out of their way. The staff will go out of their way to make your time on board even more special. And you definitely want to share that with your room stewards, or the waiters in the dining room who are serving you. You always want to share that, hey, they may ask you if you're celebrating anything special. Absolutely you're celebrating something special. It makes it all the much more memorable for you to go and have such a beautiful experience on board. Okay, now excursions. We always talk about this. One of the best excursions I always hear about are vineyards And then of course, like for those who are adventurous, they love jet skis, wave runners, whatever you want to call it. They love like these zip line excursions. All of that is like so memorable. And the cool thing about it, sometimes you can book photographers along the way to capture these moments and get these videos for you through the cruise ship. It Depending on what you're celebrating, it can really help you to capture the moment, because when you're in the moment, you don't really want to be holding a camera or GoPro, right? I mean, you can, but if you really want to capture that moment, let's say it's even a proposal, you can do that during these excursions. And again, be sure to coordinate with the crew on board. They're sure to help you. And then also keep in mind, what does your significant other like? Now, I'm a girl. I personally don't love being in the hot sun. So I would say don't go booking, an excursion that is all day out in the hot sun, where her hair and her curls may drop and her makeup may run and she's crying and complaining because she doesn't like this. Book something that she's gonna love. If that's going to a vineyard and doing wine tastings and trying the cultural food and going on food tours in an air conditioned space, help a sister out, okay? You definitely want to keep this in mind when booking that, because if it ain't right, she's gonna be crying, okay? So let's talk about budgeting. I always say, you want to be mindful of the money you spend. Granted, your cruise is already paid for, but you want to be mindful of the specialty dining, the accommodations that you ask for. If you ask for them to provide champagne or strawberries or whatever it is, that is in addition to, okay? It is not included. Keep that in mind. Also, if you want to plan a day for him or her to go out into port and buy their favorite souvenirs or get something that's memorable, maybe it's their hair done, or maybe it's a bottle of liquor, that the country specializes in. You want to take cash. Take cash. I try not to use a card, but if you absolutely have to use a card, use a credit card. Okay, you don't want to use your debit card, but I personally always try to take cash. It's better that way, and that way you can plan. If you need to stay in budget, you stay in budget, and if you're balling out and you're on a shopping spree, you can do that too. But try to take cash. It's definitely accepted, and if it's not accepted, try to get it converted. If you're out of the country, try to get it converted. Do your research on what that conversion looks like and plan. People, please plan. Okay, now let's talk about capturing memories. Now, I did mention a GoPro, I did mention hiring a photographer. If you are a person that wants to capture memories, invest in, either a really good cell phone because your phone is perfect. Get you like what is it? The accessories that you can get off of like Amazon. You can get like certain little handheld accessories to make your phone more accessible. If you want to do water sports with your cell phone, get you those little water pouches where you can put your phone inside the water pouch and you won't miss a moment inside of the water. But if you don't want to use your phone, you can get a GoPro, handheld GoPro, and capture the moments. All of that wild, crazy, fun stuff that you guys are doing, capture the moment. And if you don't want to be responsible, like I mentioned, photographers, you can hire a photographer. One of the most popular things to do in Santorini is to take a picture with like the floating dresses, and it's a couple's picture sometimes, and if not, it's a solo picture if that's what you're treating her to. You can hire on-site photographers to capture those moments, because those are once in a lifetime moments, and I promise your significant other would be so happy to later on in life look back at these photos and be like, wow, or this video and be like, oh my gosh, like you captured my every emotion in that moment. So definitely capture all of the moments. Make sure you have enough space on your phone if that's the case. Make sure you have enough SD cards if you have a camera, and make sure you reach out to the appropriate parties if you are hiring a photographer. And then typically there are photographers on the ship to also offer you that service as well. So know that it'll be charged to your room card, your account. So don't be surprised when you get hit with that bill. But definitely, if you're planning in advance of that special moment, money ain't a thing, right? So keep that in mind. Ooh, okay, let's manage expectations. All right. So we talked about managing like seasickness and all of that. But let's talk about like port days and sea days. Now, if you know you're going out into port, I would say if there is a special place that your significant other has wanted to experience, plan in advance what you guys are going to do. Make sure you think about, okay, if I get up in the morning at this time and I want to do this and the ship leaves out at that time, I have to be back at a certain time. So you definitely want to plan in advance to make sure that they get that full experience, but within appropriate time range. Now, if it's a sea day and you know that the pool may be crowded, packed, and that's something that you guys, really wanted to do, you may want to schedule time on your port day to get back early or go out in enough time to come back and enjoy the ship when it's not as crowded, because on sea days the ships are crowded. One thing that I do recommend on a sea day, plan a fun lunch, or there are so many sushi making classes and chocolate making classes and cookie baking classes, all kind of like liqueur classes, wine tasting classes that you can book during a sea day to have such an amazing experience. And the beautiful thing about it, you may get to meet other couples, and you guys may hang out, or you just get to meet new people. That's the beautiful thing about cruises. You get to meet people from all around the world, and you get to talk about the wonderful things that you two have experienced thus far on your cruise. All right. The next thing you want to think about, in addition to decorating your room, is the type of room that you want. And I like to call that planning at sea. So if you are getting a room that is a suite, okay, because it has all of these beautiful features and it comes with a butler who's at your service. The great thing about those rooms is that you can tell them about your special occasion, like I mentioned, and that room would be perfectly tailored for that occasion. One of the beautiful things about those rooms are they typically come with balconies. They can be really large balconies, but those balconies are the perfect setting for stargazing or just private sunsets. Some of those features also include like an option where you can tell your butler, hey, I want to have dinner in my room tonight. That is something that can absolutely be set up for you as a couple. Yes, granted, you can go to dinners, you can go to the specialty dining and the main dining rooms, but sometimes you may want more of a private experience. So you can just tell your butler, not your cabin steward. There's a difference. The butler is usually for like suites and above. The cabin stewards are for all rooms, of course. They're housekeepers, right? They don't really orchestrate that. The butlers, or like how Royal calls them, royal genies, they typically do that, and they'll be more than happy to let you know that when you initially get on board. They'll tell you from the very beginning, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. The expectations are set from the very beginning, so you definitely want to mention that if that is a surprise. If it's a birthday, they'll be more than happy to help you with that as well. Sometimes they'll bring a cake or something to make it really, really special. So if you do plan to have dinner on your balcony, and spend time out there, that is a wonderful touch. Be mindful that a lot of times, like some rooms come with like jacuzzi tubs, and if you are going to use that, you want to bring your own cleaning products, bubble bath, whatever it is that you like, because granted, they clean rooms, but it may not be as clean as you want it to be. Plan in advance. And then lastly, I would say, when you leave your rooms, think about, if you're spending a lot of money on these rooms, think about where you want to spend your time around the ship. Because if you don't plan, you may feel a little bummed that you have this beautiful room and you didn't really get to spend the time because you were out and about doing this. But that's minute. The cruise lines are there to help. They're there to make it as simple and as seamless as possible. I do want to give a pro tip. With any room service is available. If you plan to have breakfast in bed, that is something that all cruise lines can offer. What you want to do is, there usually will be a form in your room the night prior where you can fill out all of the breakfast that you want. That breakfast will then be delivered to your room at a certain time. It can be as early as 6 a.m. in the morning or as late as 10 a.m. in the morning. It is up to you to adhere to the time when that little sheet needs to go outside of your door. If that does not work, you can simply call room service and schedule for breakfast to be delivered. There is an upcharge. I think it depends, what the cruise line is, but sometimes it can range from $7 to $10 in addition to whatever drinks or specialty items you may include with your breakfast. But that is also a nice touch to adding to your breakfast and to your overall experience. If you're planning to propose, call the cruise lines in advance, email them in advance, and tell them, hey, I want to plan a proposal on board, not quite sure what I need to do, and they'll help you to orchestrate that process. Not quite sure what that looks like for each cruise line, as I'm sure procedures differ, but I'm pretty sure that's something that you can set up. Overall, I hope this information makes your vacation just a little bit more special. Cruise ships are really cool because for one base price, you can get all of your worries bundled together and solved. Granted, there are certain things that you do need to do to make that experience a little bit more personalized. You do have to put in the work and research, like I always say, but there are guides there to help you along the way. And I'm pretty sure your significant other will be so, so happy and grateful in the process. You'll probably be planning your next cruise before you know it. So keep in mind, if there is a special event that you have coming up for you too, start in advance, 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance, a year in advance, and dedicate your time and energy into planning out this special moment. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and so that is very important that you do it and you do it the right way. I hope this information helped you. I hope you have a blast on your couple's vacation. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon, girl. Peace.